What's up, friends? It's Skip. I'm back in my garden with another full tour. It is the 4th of July. It's a beautiful day here in southeast Michigan. Before I do the full tour, I just want to preface this again with the fact that I am not a professional on any of these subjects. I am just a hobbyist that wants to give back to the community. What I do aim to offer in these videos is a live weekly look as to what a hobbyist is doing, the successes and the failures of what's going on in my personal garden. Hopefully you guys can relate a little bit. If you gain anything from this video, please don't forget to give it a like. And then go ahead and subscribe, and we'll continue with these weekly updates, guys. But let's go do the full tour. All right, guys, this week we're going to start right at the entrance here. We've got some green beans coming in on this side. They're going to grow nice and tall. They're pole beans. We have our peas dying on this side because it's too hot for them. So we're letting the pea pods dry up. Let's find one here for you, letting them dry up, and then we'll use those seeds. Got more stuff going to seed over here. This is our lettuce going to seed. We'll save all those seeds because we like that variety of lettuce. Swiss chard, bush beans. Bush beans are starting to produce, which means I'm probably going to kill that Swiss chard pretty soon here. Let these bush beans compete with just themselves. We've got our 3 different varieties of squash, 2 of them from M.I. Gardener here. We got the gray and the Italian striped. Started my zucchini quite late. There's people already harvesting zucchini, but these are going to grow very rapidly. They grow super quick. We got our kale that we're getting plenty of weekly harvests off of for nice smoothies. Our pepper bed, you'll see, is a lot healthier than last time we showed. There was some yellow leaves down here that I didn't pluck them. They just filled in green once the soil started to warm up. It's about 11:20 in the afternoon, and we're still not getting full sun because of the dappled light of these trees. I think that's why these peppers haven't quite taken off. Between the thick mulching that I did that cooled the soil and then the not full sun, they get probably about 7 hours, which is technically full sun, but not too hot of sun. So I think that's why. I'll show you the other peppers in that bed down there, and you'll see the big difference between them. I got the broccoli that I already harvested a head off of that we're letting the side shoots grow up, eating that. Dill here for our pickles. Got dill kind of all over. This was parsley in here. I collected a swallowtail caterpillar out of there. Hatched that guy. That was pretty cool. One of the main things I wanted to show you is the cucumber trellis here. I've dropped this plant specifically. Let's show you this front corner here. This one up front here that is a giant. I've actually dropped it twice already. But what these yo-yos do is you can bring them up and put them down, and they have that little stop there, so they go about 6 inches at a time. And I just once it gets up to the top, I drop it down, and you'll see the stem kind of just hangs out on the ground here, and then I'll prune these leaves so they're not touching the ground. You see they get a little fungally. But right now we got pretty much daily cucumbers coming off of this. These are the slicing variety. We have pickling variety in here. Ones that haven't produced are these lemon variety, lemon cucumbers. They look like an orb once they start to fruit. Can't wait to see one of those. They're not quite to the top. These slicers are to the top. They're growing like gangbusters. And I got some beets up front here going in with my smoothies. And then I'm kind of just pulling those as I need them. They're doing just fine sitting in the ground. I got my tomato bed here, marigolds and basil below it. Marigolds aren't doing the greatest, but you know, they're existing. They're doing all right for that. I had some Napa cabbage here. I cut all the dying leaves off of that the earwigs and slugs are eating. Sprayed with some neem oil. Hopefully that helps. These tomato plants are tall. They're at least 4 feet tall, but they're not producing a ton of fruit, but it's going to be enough for us. We got cherry tomatoes here. These are bigger beefsteak tomatoes coming in here. And then we got the Roma variety. Shout out to Chef Mark Hughes that gave me this little transplant that he got seeds from a guy from Italy for. So shout out Chef Mark Hughes. This is the squash bed that I've covered up with netting because this is my 3rd time trying to put watermelon in here. You see I got 2 there and 3 there. The birds or something was coming through and killing them, so I just covered it up and hopefully they can settle themselves in now. I got a cantaloupe there. Like I said, 2 pumpkin there. So the pumpkin are gonna grow up and grow out into the cornfield there. And then the cantaloupe and 2 watermelon that I have in there, I'm gonna build a trellis right here. They're gonna be able to grow up and down that trellis. The ever-bearing strawberry bed that I showed last time, still producing fruit and flowers, which is real nice. We're cutting the runners off of it, but we're not cutting the flowers off of it. So we're letting them root. This is their first year by cutting the runners. But we're trying to see if not cutting the flowers has any effect or not. There's a nice cabbage moth there for you. He's probably gonna go lay some eggs on my broccoli over there, maybe kale. And then we got a tomato plant here, just a volunteer tomato plant. It loves it over here, so we just let it grow. This is those peppers I was telling you about. Same plants. These were transplanted maybe 5 or 6 days before the other ones, and there is some drastic difference between them. This is a chop and drop bed, so I grew cover crop in it, chopped it and dropped it multiple times now, and you can see it's just left us with composted on top. And then all these peppers that are growing in here. We got a ton of them and a ton more coming. Never topped these once. They topped themselves. They're growing just like a bush. Real nice. I'm gonna do kind of a lap around the garden here. We got some coneflowers, josta berries here. I don't know if there's any I can show you actually. More flowers on the fence line here. We got a raspberry plant. We always have projects going on, so there's some composted manure and humus and some cardboard. More flowers, raspberries here. I just put these raspberries in the ground this year though, so we're not expecting them to produce until next year. And then the new feature we have is a rainwater collection system here that I just installed. So it's gonna be filtered down through that into our rain collection. And we got a spigot on the bottom there. We elevated it for the water pressure. 55 gallons of water creates an immense amount of pressure down at the bottom there when it's elevated. So we'll be able to just use a hose right off of that, which is real nice. We still have the potatoes growing in bags over here. We harvested a few for 4th of July potato salad, but there's a fungal issue going on here. Not exactly sure what it is. I'm sure somebody in the comment section can tell me. So I have in the black bags are red potatoes, looking a little bit more healthy. And then in this white bag is a gold potato, looking a lot more yellow and a lot more affected by the fungal issue. But the bag of yellow that I did harvest gave us plenty of potatoes for a potato salad for the 4th of July. And then in our container garden here, there's some tomato plants that are a little less happy than the ones in the ground. You can see the fungal issue on them there. I'll probably prune those leaves off, but they're still setting fruits. So we'll see how they do. We got our snacking peppers that still aren't changing any colors. We'll see how they do. Onions, more peppers, and then more tomatoes. These are all beefsteaks over here. Beefsteaks seem to like the pots a little bit more than the cherry tomatoes, which is the opposite of what I found in my previous experience, but plants will do what they want to do. Another thing I've added is this mesh netting in a frame over my corn. Hopefully it's tall enough. Hopefully they don't outgrow it, but what I'm trying to do is protect it from the birds. I have half of the cornfield unprotected here because I still want my pumpkins to grow into it, but you can see a good example right here is either squirrels or birds or something's coming in here and decimating my corn. There's, as you can see, it's 4 by 8 here, so these 2 spots are completely missing, and that's because something made them, and they're just kind of chopping it off wherever they want. But that's what that netting's for, hopefully. And then I got my little owl friend here that hopefully helps. We will see. You know, they always say knee-high by the 4th of July, and I think we're about there, so. All right, friends, if you made it this far in the video, I just want to say thanks again for your interest in gardening. Thank you for your interest in my garden. If you gained anything from this, go give the video a like, subscribe to my page. I'm going to be doing these weekly updates. As always, take care of yourselves, and if you can, someone else too. See you next time.